Hello and welcome to part one of my multiple part series. Let's try a screenshot lecture to help my students get a little bit better at turning in their work and being on topic every single time they turn it in. I want to help you get past that insecurity or the idea that you might have been missing something in the assignment, and I want to put it out to all of you in a way, hopefully, that gets the best out of the work that you are doing. The first is called a photo example paragraph. It's adapted from the photos in Time magazine. Time magazine was a very important magazine when I was young. Magazines aren't important anymore. I get that. But the pictures that they captured are pretty interesting even to this day. And that's why I want you to choose a decade of photos. That's 10 photos that are sequential. And under each photo, write one or two sentences describing that photo. This is report style writing, where you just do a report on a topic. What am I looking at? I don't want to give in-depth or in-detail analysis. I just want to say what it is. That's the first step to writing academically, and it's something that I want to get you past. And so I want to show you how adding layers to that simplicity provides an intellectual freedom for you to develop better habits for expressing your own opinion in an intellectually honest way. So, first, you just do the simple part. What's going on in that photo? Give just the physical details. Elaborate on maybe one item that you see in the visual. Elaborate on one significant item, what's happening in this part. The boy seems to be leading the girl into the light. There's a comment on something I see in one of the photos. Let me see if I can find that for you. That would be the girl going in and out of the light. Not that one. Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, it's famous. Oh, there we go. The world was just getting out of war, and we have this delightful shot of two young children entering a lit glade in a park. They're coming out of a dark place and into the light. It seems like they're somewhat optimistic and together, and it seems like they are foraging ahead into a better place. At least that's what it looks like to me. Beautiful composition, by the way. A little bit like a heart, if you don't notice. I thought that was kind of nice. Anyway, now let's get back to the assignment. I've given you I gave you too much. There's a boy and a girl being led out of a dark place into a lit meadow. That would be the first part of the assignment. So, the boy seems to be leading the girl into the light. That's close enough. Now, you do that for all 10 photos. 10 photos, you write this one or two sentence description of the photo. Then under 6 of them, at 60%, write the emotional significance of the photo. What makes it so important? What are the elements of the photo, and what do they have? What impact do they have on the viewer? The photo of the boy and the girl seem to suggest a new optimistic world is coming from the darkness of war. There's a joy and an idea of innocence emerging from shadow. Okay, so there's a couple emotions being represented there, and it's being shown that this is important to look at when you look at that photo. It's not just a boy and a girl walking down a path. It's a boy and a girl in 1946 who've just come out of a dark place into a much more optimistic world. Okay, so that's 6 of these. 6 of them, you are now layering your own opinion onto the photo. The first part's not opinion. The first part's just what's there. What's there is what's there. The second part, you put your opinion in, and that's more like an essay assignment, because essays require opinions. You have to put out your idea and then back it up with as much support as you possibly can. In a photo, you would back it up with the idea of darkness of war, because 1946 is coming out of a war. And the idea of innocence emerging from shadow. You might get an idea that there is something innocent about getting into, about a child, basically. You didn't choose a young man and a young woman experiencing the world. You had the children experiencing that new optimistic world. So there's something emotional to that, and that's my opinion. Now, you've written first 10 sentences, or 10 posts, 1 to 2 sentences, under each of these photos. You've chosen 6 photos, and you've written 2 or 3 sentences on the emotional significance of that photo. Now you're going to choose one last photo. Okay? You've already done all of this work. You're going to choose one and then start writing about a single academic paragraph about what is unique about the photo. Now, this gets into historical context and the representation of the moment and why it is so important to the idea of 1946 in this case. Okay, there are three parts of the photo that make it an important representation of the year 1945. Did I get that wrong? Oh, it says 1946. Oh my goodness. You're seeing something right now. An English professor making a mistake. Oh, wow. Wow. It's hard. I'm going to have to check my ego at the door. Okay, I'm back. So this is the topic sentence. I still need to write more. I'm not going to give you the entire paragraph here. It's an academic paragraph. But there are three parts of this photo that make it an important representation of the year 1945. Maybe also unique. I want to say that because it is about what's unique about it. Important could be stretched to give you an idea of unique. The emergence from darkness, the composition of the boy and the girl, and the hope for a brighter future. Okay, let's take composition of boy and girl really quickly. What is it about the boy and girl that might be unique for the time? Is the boy leading the girl, or are they kind of together on this journey? This might be a step forward in which men and women, instead of being in rank file, are beside each other. They're helping each other, but one is not leading the other. They're both going in a little bit as equals. Okay, that could be an interesting point to make about 1946. Has the war given a new importance to women and their role in society, or a role in the future of society? Wow, that sounds cool, Professor Gifford. I would like to examine that and see how much evidence I might be able to put forward under that proposition. Well, that's a good idea, young student. I hope you can do that and find something interesting. Okay, so I have taken, this is just the topic sentence. I now need to write about the composition, the emergence from darkness, and the brighter future, and talk about what is unique about the photo and how those things are engaging in that photo. Like I said, the composition of the boy and the girl, I might expand that into an idea of presenting men and women, or at least young men and women, as equals. Because as 1946, a lot of people came out, had jobs, a lot of women had permanent positions during the war. Maybe they were looked at more as important members of society instead of someone to lead along behind. Again, I might not be completely right about that, but I might be able to find somebody that from a news report that talks about the idea of the emerging importance of women in 1945, not 46, and that would help us with that point. The emergence from darkness. Maybe I talk a little bit about the unique point in the war that in 1945 we weren't fully enveloped in light. We still were engaged in a war in Japan, but it looked like it was almost over. It looked like we were reaching that place where we were crossing a line into the light. You might be able to talk a little bit about how the world emerged from darkness, or at least these kids are emerging from darkness, and a hope for the future. Okay, what does the light in front of them mean? Maybe it means something good about children in the future. They won't have to go through war, that we've kind of put war behind us. You're going to have to do a little research on this, but I think this photo is well representative of a year in which a lot of things changed for the American public. That's a lot of talking, but hopefully this gives you the idea of how to, excuse me, how to go through elements of a photo and choose from them unique elements that you can then expand upon in an academic paragraph and prove that these points, these 3 points from the picture, are important, unique elements of the photo that you've chosen. Okay, from the hills above Castaic, this is Professor Gifford signing off.